know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'm ever stopping.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me. But they hate from inside, you see, hate themselves in society. So I let them speak quietly while my actions speak wider. See, they be hiding in privacy with the screen. Oh, the irony to hate someone who's trying to be whatever they would like to be. We all feel the anxiety, we make our own rivalries. Yo, so where is all the positivity? I feel like we all just hate on everything, it's killing me. Thoughts build quick, causing different possibilities. Negative thoughts will cause different disabilities. So do better, work hard under pressure. If you got no time, work smarter than ever. Don't ever let them tell you that you can't ever say never. And turn your mind into the truest of go-getters.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'm ever stopping.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Block Sauce, your weekly web show that serves up the juiciest discussions in the world of Web3 and gaming culture. I'm your host, Arena FT Ambassador Jim Kieran, and today we've got an incredible panel lined up for you as usual. So grab your controllers, kick back, open a Red Bull, and prepare to get your game on. Hey there, sauce enthusiasts. It's time to bring the heat with another electrifying episode of the Block Sauce. I'm thrilled to introduce our panel. We have Shay, Adub, and of course, if you don't know, Jorge, well, I mean, you should know all of them, but realistically, I think everybody in Web3 knows Jorge at this point. How are you guys doing today?
Yo! I'm excited to stir the pot today. I don't know what
We haven't started yet.
I don't know what you guys decided to bring for topics, but I brought my own agenda, and that's how we make sure this show has the viewers.
Hey, I'm down for whatever.
Shay. Honestly, this has become like a highlight of my week. Like looking for Jorge's antics, the drama in Web3 gaming. No, seriously, super excited to be here. It's been a long week. Yeah, I love that we do this on Thursdays because I feel like it's kind of a good, as we approach towards the end of the week, it's kind of a good way to keep a pulse on just everything that's going on in the space because there's so much that happens every day, every week. So yeah, super excited for the conversation today.
Yep, a lot of great games out there. It's been a really busy week for me, and excited to bring it back and talk about some like broader topics and get out of the details of which deck is better than what in the conversations I've been having.
But did you have fun playing those games you're mentioning here?
Yeah.
You sure?
I had fun. Yeah.
What games did you play?
Oh my god. Yesterday I played oh my god, I was all over the place yesterday. I gotta look. I played Parallel while on a Twitter space. I was streaming and playing Parallel and winning. It was pretty pro.
That's impressive. That's an impressive
I did play some Web2 games. I played Apex. I got carried by Rich. I suck at Apex Legends, and then I played BattleBit. Also, I checked out Farlight 84. Very interesting Web2 game coming to the mix too. So I played a little bit in Web2 land yesterday.
Isn't that mobile?
It's available on mobile, but I played it on Steam.
Okay.
So that I could crush those mobile. I mean, like PC versus mobile players in the same game. Like it's always going to be the PC players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
I don't know, but this is a message to all game developers watching this show. If a content creator took 30 seconds to a minute to tell us what game he played, that means it wasn't fun. So y'all got some work to do because I need Dub to be like, Meiji, I was playing Meiji and I am the #1 content creator playing Meiji.
Shit, he caught the one that I forgot about.
Oh yeah.
I did play Meiji and streamed it yesterday. It was a blast. I have the tournament. I'm leaving this thing at like the top of the hour because there's the Meiji tournament.
Oh,
that's how much I care. So,
well, speaking of gaming, obviously, we plan to talk about Yuga, and there were some announcements today. So I feel like that's a good segue into talking about their whole situation. They recently acquired the studio called Roar. I'm not familiar with the studio, so this is kind of news to me. But they also announced a game today that I'm sure everybody at this point has heard of. What are your guys' thoughts on this new mech fighting game that they're talking about?
Well, first, let's backtrack. Them buying a studio, right? Again, I've preached to you guys like things about like, making sure you know what you're doing with your money and hiring the right people, right? You guys, I believe, has hired the right people at the top of the helm. And they are doing great things. Maybe the games aren't fun. I don't know. Maybe that's the way they're supposed to be intended. Some of them are catchy, some whatever. There's FOMO. Anyways, they're doing well. Okay, they're not doing like phenomenal. They're doing well. But what they're doing is they're going getting reinforcement or help that they need to keep building, and that is essential to making sure that you're using your funds correctly. Because again, I mentioned funds because in Web3 we don't know how to use our funds most of the time. And I think, like, again, we may not be Yuga fans, you may not be a Bored Ape fan. I don't care if you're not. At least it's not a scam or a rug like other games. They're building something fun, and they're building something for their community. Their community is behind everything that they're doing. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, we preach about community. If their community's behind them, then us talking on the outside, we sound idiots if we're going to talk bad about them.
Well, so keep in mind, I did do a quick little search. Roar is actually a music metaverse startup. So they're not necessarily directly gaming involved. So I don't
Well,
believe they're tying into their gaming ecosystem yet, but they could be providing music for their experiences.
Yeah, and I like that. So that's where like existing partnerships with Snoop Dogg. Unfortunately, Eminem sold his Basie, but maybe
Oh,
he'd be still down
Did
for
you
some
really? Oh my goodness.
music things. But like the other thing is, it brings me back to a previous installment that they did that a lot of people don't know about. Was there actually was a comedy club metaverse that was below the Basie swamp or whatever. It was called Below Board. It existed for about a month. I bought into it. I went to the first comedy show nights where it was a metaverse experience, and they walked you around, and they're like, "Oh, and here's the door where one day it'll reach to the other side," and that's the whole metaverse bit from it. So like, I think they still very much want to create those experiences, and I think it would be interesting having broad live concert experiences. Think about Travis Scott at Fortnite, right? Like, let's start doing stuff like that, because I'd be cool with like hanging out with my other fellow gamers, like in a music, like kind of gaming experience.
I mean, music's an integral part to games, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and working with a lot of game developers, you know how much it costs to get music for their games? I mean, it's an astronomical amount of money. Like, I've worked with several partners even just recently, and I'm on a marketing standpoint, and I'm just like, what? These guys want how much for the damn song? And they're like, yeah, we could create the whole song with blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, there's a whole nother world, and that's kind of like what really opened up to the like understanding like how this works together, in the sense of, like, again, building games and building music alongside of it, empowering the community behind it. Again, like, I'm assuming there's going to be ways to choose or vote or whatever it is in that community that they have, that allows even for that within the community, those that like Stubb is saying, Snoop, right? Maybe
Yeah.
Eminem come back. I think there's some other famous artists that have are holders. So I think there's going to be something really cool in the play for this.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I feel like it's a really bullish move. I think music will definitely be a big next narrative in our next bull run, and I think we're starting to see that in different ways. And for me, I find it's going to be really interesting to see how AI plays a part in music. And I was reading up a little bit on Roar, and it seems like Roar has like they have messed with like music, AR, VR, like different. It's not just music. They have like a suite of offerings, of different offerings. So I want to see how that plays into Yuga. And it's really cool that there's actually been like a comedy club experience in Basie. I did not know that. I wish that I would have been able to check that out. I am a mutant holder. And fun fact, I've performed stand-up comedy once before. So I'm a big comedy fan in general.
Tell us your best joke right now. Tell us your best joke right now.
Oh my gosh.
You can't do that to a comedian.
Actually, they're all
She's
kind
not
of
improv.
they're sort of inappropriate. The best ones
Oh.
were really inappropriate. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying
Okay.
them.
Okay, when you say inappropriate, are we talking Jeff Dunham inappropriate? Or are we talking Amy Schumer inappropriate?
Amy Schumer, kind of, just a bit
So,
off the beaten path. Not something I'm comfortable just
Nah,
putting
I
out
got
for
it.
Web3 just yet. But maybe eventually. I'll send you my set if you want it. I have the recorded version. But no, honestly, I'm a Yuga fan. Like Jorge was saying, they're building their team. I'm pretty sure with the acquisition, they made Eric Reed, like Roar's CEO, the general manager of Otherside. So not only are they acquiring these companies, they're acquiring the talent that comes with it. So I think it's a really, really bullish move, and they're building an all-star team. So I'm excited to see what they actually do with the acquisition.
So I just drove from Connecticut to Florida, and in the car, my kids were asking if I could tell them jokes. And so I Googled best kid jokes. And so my best kid joke is ready? Knock, knock,
Who's there?
ice cream.
Ice cream who?
Ice cream so you can hear me better.
I thought you were gonna say ice cream so good.
Yum yum.
I was
Gang, gang,
expecting
play.
that too at this point. But no,
But
I agree with Jorge. Like gaming is 100% tied in with music. When you think about some of the best experiences, I mean, just look at Halo and their theme song, right? Every gamer pretty much can recognize that song almost immediately. But on the other side of that, like content creation and these music NFTs that we're starting to see become a thing, I think there's some tie-in to be had there too, because when you think about it right now, a lot of streamers were having to use all these different copyright playlists. And then if a musician does copyright the song, then all of a sudden the playlist changes. So being able to buy your own music, own that, build your own playlist, I feel like that's a powerful tool even for content creation. So thinking a little beyond gaming and just supporting gamers in general, this we could see more from Yuga in the music side of things.
Absolutely.
and they have Ape Fest. They have all these things that they do, right? I mean, like
Mhm.
God, this is endless, right? There's so many opportunities. Look, I'm very bullish on Yuga at the end of the day. Like, for the money they have, for what they're doing, that they're
Mhm.
spending it wisely. They're doing something right over there. Maybe the game is not fun. Hey, that's a whole different other topic. But at least they're spending it and doing some certain things, not like other projects that were just being rug pulled
Well, you
easily.
just said the thing. Maybe the game isn't fun, whatever. I don't know. I watched the new video for that game that they talked about today, and it actually does look fun. I'd actually have no concerns in regards to the game being fun and me wanting to play it, especially since they did confirm there will be a free to play route, so pretty much anybody can at least jump in and try it out, see how it is, whether or not they like it. And I love all that. The issue that I see is the fighting genre. This is already a very small piece of the pie when you talk gaming as an overall situation. Some of the top games, there's a reason they're the top game. All the competitors that come in just cannot get traction whatsoever. We've seen Injustice show up. We've seen Killer Instinct. They've been around for a long time, and they've just kind of faded in the wind. Even before this podcast, I guess that's what we'll call it. I went and checked the Twitter for those two games, and they haven't posted or said anything since last year. Like those games have basically faded into dust. But when you hear Street Fighter, you hear Smash Brothers, Tekken, people know those by name because they've had such a stranglehold on that genre for so long. Do you guys think that Yuga could potentially disrupt that, or do you think it's gonna end up just being a Web3 niche?
I think it's market segmented, and I think that it was smart play for them looking at the categories that already represented well in Web3. Like this, if they went and did a TCG, it'd just be weird, and they would be
Mm-hmm.
competing for Web3 use. At the end of the day, they're building for the Web3 community specifically with this. Like I specifically look at their where they're writing content, like in that video at the 7 second mark,
Mm-hmm.
it says battle other owners in real time PvP. They're not even saying gamers. like
Good
it's
point.
the
I didn't
wording
catch
is
that.
like this is totally built for the Web3 market, and they don't even care. Like they're kind of stoked about it, I bet, because they're like, oh yeah, we don't even have to compete with Street Fighter because they're not in our category, they're not in our house, like they're not going for the same audience.
But there have been attempts at fighters in this space before. They are not the first, and they are not the only. For those that aren't aware, there's Psyker. There's another one, I believe the name was called Battle for Mount Olympus, which, if you don't
Oh yeah,
recognize those names,
KOF too. I mean, KOF is an established Web 2 name like that. That's in Web
hmm
3. But I mean, there's no like predominant one, right? Like,
hmm
when MMO kind of has that, FPSs have that. It just feels like from a category level, it feels like a smart play for like where the market is today.
I'm interested to hear Shay and Jorge's thoughts.
I feel like eventually, like if anybody is poised well enough to break into the Web 2 audiences, it is Yuga because I mean Yuga is kind of I call it sort of like the Bitcoin of NFTs. It's that it's that one collection that has, massed like a mass amount of attention for our space and that most normies kind of have heard of in some form
hmm
or fashion when You think about like Paris Hilton's appearance on like Jimmy Kimmel and all like Eminem and Snoop Dogg being involved and all these different immersive experiences that they've done. I think right now they might be a little tunnel visioned on the Web3 aspect, but we also don't know what they're building, right? With like the acquisition of Roar and the other things that they're doing. So, I mean, it's interesting. It is a bit cringe to me that, you know, like it said battle other owners or whatever in the trailer, but as
What
we've
can you
seen
do?
with, yeah, we've seen with Dookie Dash and like Heavy Metal, right now they're, it seems like in terms of what's live and what we're able to see that they're doing is like it's mainly Web3 focused, and like maybe that's like their primary like one of their primary like revenue streams too. So I think over time we'll see them break more into like the Web2 audiences.
Web3 gamer in the chat says Yuga is the Dogecoin of our space. I don't know. I hear Dogecoin and I die laughing because to me it's a meme, it's a total joke. And if that's what you're calling Yuga, you said it, not me. Just throwing it out there. But for
I just mean when I say that is when you can look at
Yeah.
the Yuga floors and get a sentiment of how the overall NFT market is
Mhm.
doing. When the Yuga floors are up, other floors are like our space. You can just get a gauge on how the market is doing. That's sort of what I mean when I say it's sort of the Bitcoin of NFTs.
Are you
good
saying
point.
it's a North Star?
Pardon?
North
It's a
Star.
North Star.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I know when to go home. Okay.
So the thing with the new game is you can build your own character, right? And I was reading, now I didn't see this from an official post. I saw this third hand, and I'm hearing that every single component to your mech will be its own individual NFT. Now, to me as a gamer, that immediately screams pay to win. What are your guys' thoughts on that system if that is true?
Oh yeah, I love it for DJing gaming. Pay to win makes sense here, and I'm looking forward to its evolution.
Why am I here? You guys don't need me. Dub's the DGen. I'm just the regular gamer looking for reasonable games.
I need to list my Heavy Metal. Honestly, I'm incapable of holding NFTs that require me to do things. Like I played around for it a little bit, like with a little bit, and it's just like you just keep having to come back to it. I
Mhm.
think it's just more of like an attention thing. I don't know, but I do need to list my Heavy Metal.
I met Dub at the casino, so I mean that just goes to show.
Hey, it was at an after party where I was getting handed catered food, and you came to hang out next to me because all the caterers were coming to me, flocking to me, and you wanted to get in on that.
Hell yeah! Oh, DGen eating. Okay, I'm down.
Right?
Now that could be my type of DGen.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, there are markets for everybody, right?
Mhm.
I've said this in the past that play to earn, there's a market for play to earn, right? It's the
Totally.
gaming, it's not the gaming community, it's the gambling community, right? And I think like casinos are a great place to go play games and fucking try to win and pour thousands of dollars into it, hoping that you're gonna win, but you'd never win and you lose. So play to earn is really very much similar. It's not much different. Gamers are not the ones that are wanting that kind of experience. And so I
Yep.
think that's where we've like fucked up in the past. But again, I think if you market everything correctly, if you know your audience, I think you'll be able to be successful. So I mean, it's just understanding that very simple things.
I think this is what I believe they need to do to make sure that this game can thrive, right? The cash prizes for all the other fighting games, Web 2 or otherwise, have pretty much been poor when you look at some of the top esports titles. Yuga has money. However, Yuga also has a history of not using that money as prize money. They reward people with assets or their token or whatever the case is. I think if they put out a banger game, it is balanced in such a way that anybody can be competitive, whether you dropped $1,000 or $10 to play the game, and they put money up front and say, "Hey guys, come compete for 100K or 50K." I think people are going to jump in, and they're probably going to find out it's a fun game. They may stick around. They may start practicing so that way they can compete in further cash tournaments. But if they come out and say, "Hey guys, come compete for a monkey JPEG," I feel like that's going to be a hard sell for anybody that's not already in Web3 at this point.
Totally agree. And hopefully they will strategize their prize pools in that way. Cause like you said, otherwise it's definitely not going to, like, it's just further going to pigeonhole themselves into only Web3.
Well,
Mhm.
I mean, again, I think where everybody's priced out right now to get into any of the Yuga, really. I mean, and so I think like if you look at like gaming and you look at everything like, there's got to be an entry point for everybody else.
Mhm.
And I think, hey, let me insert a quick shill right here for our sponsors, NFT. Maybe there's an NFT lending platform out there that could help gamers get into games that are being outpriced.
Stealing my
Ooh.
thunder, but I like it. Well, do you guys have
Yeah,
any? Oh, go
I'm
for it.
all for it. I mean, it's never gonna be in USDC. I'm sorry. Maybe there'll be like a trip to Japan or something for Ape Fest that you could win, which is still cool. It's always gonna be in the Ape token.
Mhm.
It's always gonna be in NFTs as their price. I mean, they're pretty clear. It's on-chain rewards, and with the legal systems and advices, like it's never gonna be in USDC. So they'll keep it in their with their
Bitcoin,
ecosystem assets, but
Mhm.
I'm all for it, and I think it's gonna hopefully show off how many gamers are kind of in the Web3 space already and are Web3 adjacent.
yeah, I mean, ApeCoin's still worth something. It's going to be interesting to see how like the next happening, I forget when that is scheduled for, is going to affect the price of the token. So that'll be interesting to see.
Well, if nobody has anything further on that one, in other news, has anybody looked into internet identity yet?
What?
Internet identity. So I'll go ahead and read you off what we got here. Internet identity is a Web3 service that allows users to create an anchor for their physical devices, allowing them to sign in to compatible services securely. Instead of using a password protection, Internet identity uses a chip on modern devices to automatically generate a disposable passkey that are protected with chain key cryptography. So instead of you just creating an account and typing in a set password, imagine that your password changes every time you go to sign in and it's generated by the system. So it's almost like a built-in 2FA, so to speak. That's kind of how I look at it.
Absolutely. I mean, disposable password sounds really cool, even just from a Web 2 context. Like if your password changes every time you log into something, like that eliminates so many vulnerabilities. I'm like a big stickler when it comes to security with Web 2. Like I use a password manager and I use security generated passwords for everything. Highly recommend like 1Password. It's really good. I think LastPass like had a big hack. So it's cool to see them like it's cool to see something kind of similar being built out for Web3. I think their challenge is going to be like getting dApps and stuff on board, because I think from what I read, like a dApp has to like opt in to incorporate with like this identity like technology. So I think they're super early, but the concept of it is really cool.
It also allows you to create multiple identities for yourself. So that way, if for whatever reason, maybe you want to segment between Web 2, Web 3, between your supported apps and stuff like that, I think that's pretty cool. It also says that it hides your digital footprint, protects you from identity theft, and there's other benefits to it, but it doesn't define what those other benefits are.
What's the cost?
What's that?
What's the cost?
It's free,
It's
actually.
free. Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
Nothing's free in life. Let me tell you something. I learned that when I was young, very young. Nothing, not even the air is free.
So
The cost is your data, sir.
So it says that the passkeys are enabled via biometric authentication or similar type of security process like your Face ID that don't require a password. So you're probably gonna be looking at, well, speaking of WorldCoin, everybody getting their iris scanned right now. Imagine that, we'll talk about WorldCoin later, I guess. But
I just did my WorldCoin. I just did my biometrics and everything. It was
Oh,
great.
you did?
It was a great experience.
Oh.
Phenomenal experience. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad that it was. So now they have your retinal ID. So if you ever decide to use internet identity with your eyes, they have access to use that. So congratulations. I'm glad that you did that.
I have Clear. If anybody knows what like if you guys know what Clear is at the airport,
Jorge compromised.
When you opt into that, they scan like your eyes and your retinas too.
Let me tell you something. I need Clear in my life. I don't know if you know, I like to travel a lot. And so because I like to travel a lot, I'm also very much late. Like I was late to this show. and because I'm late all the time, Clear is what saves me from making sure I make my flights on time. So if they're gonna sell like WorldCoin or anything's gonna sell, like always go for the people that are always late or like disheveled like me. They're like, oh, that one. Hey guys, we're gonna make sure you get to your destination.
Totally. I was avoiding it for the longest time, but last time I was traveling in my flight, there was like an hour-long wait, and I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that today.
Well, this is a perfect segment for another shill. If you want to join American Express, the silver card through Delta, you get Clear free for the first year, second year half off, and if you travel enough points, you could get it free for the second year.
Okay, Jorge, I need you. I'm gonna need to pay you to record some ads for my stream because you are obviously a great promoter. He knows what to say, when to bring it up. So there you go.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's. I used to work in security. I think that it's neat conceptually. I do have concerns about the biometric data. Obviously, storing any information on the blockchain, making it public. I understand it is encrypted, but nothing's ever truly secure, at least in this modern era where we have Chat GPT finding a way around everything.
It's getting even more scary with the emergence of like platforms with like if you guys saw Arkham like 2 weeks ago, I think that's what it's called. But their whole thing is like having bounties on the blockchain, and you can basically like pay to like expose someone's identity. And I guess like it could be good for scammers in the space, but it's quite I feel like it's the antithesis of what blockchain stands for.
Jorge, real quick, Rod said that we need to get a commission for all these shills, so whatever you're making, make sure you share.
Yeah, no problem, Rod. Send me your wallet right now. Tag your wallet, tag your favorite wallet on whatever chain you are on. I will make sure you get it by 3 p.m. today, sir.
I love when these go off the rails. What are your thoughts, Dub? I haven't heard you talk on this one too much.
It's weird. I mean, like, it's data, it's privacy. Like, part of me wants to go live in a cave and like, you don't know Dub.
You and me both.
The other side of me like shares my most intimate. Like I gave my social security number for this stupid Mint whitelist thing.
No
like,
way.
I didn't even touch on that. I didn't even touch on that. Yeah. So if you want to get on the allow list for that Yuga game right now, you have to give up your social security number. It is part of their KYC.
Yeah,
It's
no.
a phenomenal way to onboard. What are you guys talking about? It's Web3. Phenomenal way to onboard.
Name a Web2 game that you had to provide a social security number to play.
I get
in the US. There's other countries that do actually do that. Like I believe Korea has something like that.
Revolutionary technology. We need your social security number to play a game. That makes complete sense.
If you live in Korea, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna jump through hoops to play the games that I want to play, and if that means I gotta.
I respect the hustle.
If I gotta scan an iris, I'll scan an iris. But like, I am a little like worried about people having my data, especially. I mean, I grew up through the 90s and everything, so I saw like every single company that was trustworthy end up getting ultimately hacked or whatever at some point in case. But I don't know, like I've had the same Gmail since forever too, and maybe I shouldn't share these things, but data is weird, and people like to throw flags over things. Maybe it's all cool, maybe it's not.
I mean, at the end of the day, like your cell phones like have all your data, and like you basically like give it to Google or Apple like as soon as you fucking say yes to all the privacy and all their things that they have. So I don't know. I'm in the same boat as in the sense of like Dub here. Like I really don't give a shit about like what my stuff's out there. Like honestly, like I almost want it the more so that like whatever curated marketing that whoever's paying for makes sure that like on Google, when I say right now, hey, I need to buy a new blanket, and I go right now on my Google, the blanket's gonna come up that I want. Then fuck it, like okay, cool, like you made my life easier, right? So I don't know. I mean, like to be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of like I could care less where my information is at this point in my life. As long as I know how to get to my online banking and know that I have enough money to, pay for gas and stuff like that, I really don't care shit.
So I see an opportunity to tie these two topics together real quick. Now, imagine we had the internet identity as your singular point of KYC for Web3, right? Imagine that's where you provide your social and everything like that. And Yuga instead used that internet identity for their KYC. Would you feel more comfortable doing that?
I like the idea of something centralized, like not in the sense decentralized versus centralized, but
Yeah.
using like one sort of central hub rather connecting, like giving my KYC to like a bunch of different things. I definitely would be more inclined to opt into that.
I probably would be too, to be honest. That I think that is the big drawback for me right now is having to put my data out there to so many locations. I'm with Jorge. Like I've used Facebook, I've used Threads, I got an iPhone, I used to use Android. My data is already everywhere. I get that. But if I'm choosing to put my data out there, I would rather put it in one place and then have everything tied to that one place to authenticate it. Just
Absolutely. It just makes for a better user experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because I thought this whole like WorldCoin thing was really born from like the AI fear of like, oh, we're gonna need some way of proving that people are people because AIs are gonna look like people and be people, and like I thought that's where all this came from, and like now it's not that, and it's weird. Like I kind of like is it gonna be needed to prove that this is not AI dub, or I don't know.
What would you say it's evolved into then?
Well, it is the safety and privacy topic now, and that's what it is, and it's more about your retina is your password, is like the feeling that they're giving people, like really, and like it's not really it wasn't their initial raise, and like marketing was like, oh, to prove against the AI, but now that the AI kind of sizzled out, it's weird.
Hang on, so we got a kind of hot take comment, but I'm not educated enough to say whether I agree or disagree. But Web3 Gamer says Sam Altman created the problem and the solution.
Oh, a good take.
It's a good business. Yeah, it's good business. Like but I mean, yeah, and I forgot the tokenomics on that stuff is a mess. I'm pretty sure like 2% is out there in the public, and like the investors are just ready to dump, and everyone's getting the free 20. Oh man, yeah, have fun.
Yeah, so like our new laptop models in the future going to have like retina scanners. I mean, we already have like fingerprint scanners and stuff.
So yes, some of them actually do, depending on like how high quality you get. Most of them are just facial recognition. So it's very generic, very basic, and most of them can probably even be bypassed just using a photo. Thankfully, like companies like Apple have started to fix that on their phones because they recognize that it's clearly a problem. But yeah, I don't know. I biometric data is something I'm just not comfortable giving out at all. Like fingerprints, retina, stuff like that. And everybody's like, well, you give that away already when you unlock your phone. No, that is that is such a basic system. It is not accurate. Now, me going down to the DMV and having to roll my finger in ink and provide it that way, that's a different story, but that's also with the government and I don't get much choice. But when I'm choosing to provide biometric data, I would rather just type in my password. Like I don't use facial recognition or any of that.
I mean, I give out blood all the time. I'm fine with giving out my bio, but
what's different though? You're not using your blood to unlock your computer or access your wallet or anything.
You don't know what they're doing with that blood. There's a lot of data behind there going around, man. You had no idea. You just think it's charity.
I wonder, when you think about 23andMe, I haven't done it personally, but how many people voluntarily
won't touch it.
And like what they do with that data, we don't really.
I'm all
hey Dub,
I gotta know.
Can you give me your social real quick? I'm trying to log into it right now.
I'll send you you're gonna help me with my credit score, right?
I was about to say I need a new credit card.
Why does it gotta be the banker here? Like just because I was a banker, you want me to help you with your credit score, man?
No, I got my credit report yesterday, and there's room for improvement.
Hey. So you don't need credit in Web3, so don't worry, brother.
I also see a business opportunity here with the irises and everything. What about this like iris black market? There's got to be something. Is that coming up? Like, can I get a fake retina? Is that
wow,
they're going to start using it for their new AIs like Sophie? They're gonna be real people now.
Like I could show up to this WorldCoin thing with like a bag of retinas and just pop $20 each one, right?
So
If those are just $5 a retina, that's worth it.
I'm sorry, guys. We may have to change the panel up. According to Web3 Gamer, Dub is a clone. Jorge's compromised. Shay's sponsored by Clear, and I'm the only one we have left. So
Who said that? Who said that?
Web3 Gamer.
I
That's
see
cold
that.
as ice.
Tell Web3 Gamer, go find that slide that you're supposed to slide down in Boston that's ultra hot. And go slide down the slide. Come back and let us know how that is.
Wrecked, dude. His face.
Oh my god.
Oh my
To be
God.
honest, when I did the Clear thing like very recently, which is why it's kind of distinctly in my mind. I felt very uncomfortable getting my retinas scanned. Like it just felt weird like doing it. So
Do you not
I'm
do
gonna
it
go
for your
sign
phone?
up for Clear now. I want to go experience this weird.
See, but now you guys got my brain turning, and I'm like, we see all these celebrities that look like they're not aging whatsoever. What if they are AI and all this biometric data is so that we can be replaced?
Hey, I don't know what they're using for aging, but I definitely would like to learn. I'm 36 years old and I'm starting to see like the little wrinkles again. And I'm like, ooh, I was like, now I get it. Like now I got to figure this out. And if I'm going to be on camera like this every week, maybe this is my port for my next show. Hey, anybody have anti-aging cream or anti-aging whatever? Maybe make me an AI.
I'll give you some tips on your skincare routine. I'll give you some.
I got an NFT collection for that. It gets you a thing in the mail every once a month. 1 ETH whitelist.
Oh, that's
social
not bad.
security number.
I'm right there with you, Jorge. I'm in my 30s, and there's a reason I had to get rid of the whole beard. I found a couple of white hairs, and I was like, nope, you're gone.
And everybody's aging is going to accelerate in this space. I guarantee.
Oh, so fun thing. The viewers get to participate in this in my world because when I joined Web3, I shaved my head like pretty much close to bald, and I haven't gotten a haircut since. So by the time Web3 finally make it, I'm hopefully
So are you not cutting your hair because you don't have the money for it? Like you're saying you didn't make it.
No, my sister cuts hair and she cuts hair great and for cheap and for free whenever I want. But it's just I want to grow with the market, literally.
Okay, I get it now.
It's a giant metaphor.
I'm gonna
Well,
grow with the market too, then, guys. I'm not gonna cut my hair for the next couple shows.
continuing on with the news, we have a subject that was brought up to us by none other than Shay herself, and that's Futureverse raising $54 million at a how much? What was their evaluation?
250 million, I think. I might be incorrect, but it's something like that. Something astronomical.
Okay, so definitely didn't meet the evaluation from the sounds of it.
Yeah. Full disclosure, half my net worth is in Futureverse, so I am gonna be very, very, very bullish on anything I say about them. But hey, look, I mean, they've been building in stealth, which the community likes and doesn't like, right? I hate it. I want it to be like the Web3, tell everybody what you're doing, how you're doing it, like, market the fuck out of this thing, pump my fucking bags, please, because my bags are pretty low right now. And anyways, but it's unique, their whole ecosystem that they've built. I think it's one we haven't really seen this kind of like robust in the sense, because they offer everything from like, even they have partnerships with like MasterCard, they have partnerships with like FIFA, they have partnerships with like Keanu Reeves behind this, like, even though the names to me don't really mean anything, like especially like that, but like, I think like the involvement of it more means it. And so I think like, again, for what they've got going is cool. They just don't know how to fucking market. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I want to go there one day and be like, hey, fire your marketing team and hire me, because like I will help you reach the masses.
I don't know. So this is my first time hearing about Futureverse, and based off that explanation,
That's not.
like, I have zero picture. I got maybe a giant MasterCard billboard.
I'm right
with
there.
Keanu
Look,
Reeves underneath it, like, hey.
I'm right there with you, Dub. I had never heard of this company whatsoever until Shay brought it up and I started digging into them. All I know
Hey,
is that they're
Shay,
working
please
with
do a
metaverse and
commercial on
AI.
Twitch.
Full
Is this
disclosure, so
is this Grand Theft Auto?
no, so it's okay. So I'll try to give you guys as best of a background as I can because it is kind of intricate and there is depth there. Yet, full disclosure, as Jorge said, I have a big holder in Futureverse, and my net worth is also tied up in digital rabbits. But I promise you, I'm an authentic person. I suck at lying. And like
Vouch.
my opinion, anything I say, I actually believe. And obviously, there are some things that they can improve on for sure. So I'll speak to that too. I'm not gonna shy away from that. But it's sent, and honestly, they've, like Jorge said, they've been building in stealth. So
Mhm.
their silence in a lot of ways has been deliberate. But Fluff was like the Fluff World was like the first NFT that I ever bought. So I've been following this ecosystem since like December 2021, and the reason that I aped in at that time was like my intuition and everything that I was impressed by, and the team has definitely lived up to that. And so essentially, Futureverse is a tech company. It's a tech and content company, and they're building out an L1 blockchain called the Root Network, which is going to have various protocols and applications that developers can use for different things. And their whole like value proposition is to like they want to make the technology invisible. And the XRP is also going to be used as a gas token on the Root Network, and they have these incredible partnerships that they've built. Ripple being one of them. Monica Long on the board of Futureverse. And FIFA, like they have a partnership with FIFA as well, and they have a game on the App Store. Like we're talking about Web3 gaming, and you can actually like the whole in terms of making the technology invisible. When you download the app, you're actually making a Web3 wallet and you don't even know it. You're making something called like a future pass, which is like your entry into the ecosystem. But yeah, they had a roll up of 11 different companies, which now makes up the Futureverse. And they've raised $54 million. It's co-founded by Aaron McDonald and Shara Senderoff, she's like a big entertainment executive mogul and like Scooter Braun's business partner. So they have a lot of connections and stuff in the music space. But when it comes to partnerships, I think in Web3, they've had some of the biggest, like Ripple, FIFA, Muhammad Ali's like Enterprise, MasterCard, the list goes on. So I think they've been quiet up until this point, but there is a Root token. The Root token's coming, which is obviously going to be the Root Network's main coin. And you can basically like you can have a future pass and generate a future score by participating in the ecosystem and owning different assets, which will expose you and get you like Root token. So they're building some really exciting things. There is like depth and intricacy, so it's not your like run of the mill like Web3 like cult. Like they're not vibing out on Twitter.
Web3 cult.
Like they're not vibing out on Twitter Spaces. Like Frank and Luca, like I think they're amazing founders. Like I have a lot of respect for them, but this is like it's a tech company. Like it's not just like a PFP membership pass. Like there's a blockchain being built. Like, but I will say like people like Monica Long, like the president of Ripple, is not just going to sit on anyone's board. And they also did we also have a partnership with Cool Cats where like there was an equity swap done. So there's all these big things that have happened, but for some reason like have not caught fire in the space yet because they're not putting a ton of marketing dollars behind it yet. But they have a strategy and stuff for the way they're doing things. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they're more involved in the conversation now. Like they're becoming part of the conversation slowly. So don't sleep on them completely. Jorge, me and you have to talk offline because I have some opinions for some of the things that you said. But yeah, that's a little bit.
That's their marketing talk.
Well,
hey,
look, she did reach out about the FIFA game, and I just want to say I still have not played it, but I have proof it's downloaded. Oh well, hang on. Okay. See, it is downloaded. FIFA. Okay. It's called FIFA World Cup AI League, and I believe it's available on iOS and Android. I'm on iOS, so I can't confirm Android. So I'm gonna be giving that a shot at some point.
That's Futureverse, is that game?
It's part of it.
All right.
In partnership with FIFA, and
I was tuned out until then, to be fully honest.
Okay,
the rest
like I heard game.
Sounds like the same old story I've heard like time and time again. I don't want to like I still love you, Shane. Like,
That's fair. That's fair. I
okay, there's
download
a game here. Now I'm interested. Like,
There's
cool.
actually several different games. That's the wild part. Like they have Gods and Goblin, they have the Futureverse, then they have a car racing game.
for building
Like,
with
Futureverse
Next
is not a
Legends.
game. I haven't seen any gameplay or heard about how it's a game yet. It's a tech company.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not a.
It's
It's
a
not a
tech
game.
company with different applications and protocols, and they're building different games and experiences. But this is like one of the main ones that's live right now, and
So
it's
it's like knockoff. It's Yuga we have at home that we don't go and buy at the grocery store, right? It's kind of like
no,
it
not
seems
at
like
all.
the same ecosystem play.
No, absolutely. You have to look. There's a white paper. Like, read the white paper. They are like they're doing some stuff with AI. Like, it's a deep, like,
Mhm.
there's a deep infrastructure layer and like some deep technology there. Like, it is absolutely Yuga's building something completely different. Like, I love Yuga too. Like, it's just not comparable. Like, Futureverse is aiming to be a tech company that empowers like developers and entrepreneurs and founders, like trying to build on the blockchain amongst
I got
many.
it.
They're not competitors. They're different. Take it from the person who owns both.
Yes, honestly, yeah, absolutely.
So the next topic is
Well, the final topic we have is the GameStop wallet shutting down. That is going to go into effect, I believe it was November 1st. I can touch on this one real quick. As somebody who lives in the US, I get where they're coming from. Everybody's on the edge with all this regulation and the SEC crackdown. We even see the SEC going as far as targeting influencers at this point. So businesses that have high stakes in the space, they're probably going to start, pulling back a little bit. Now, we haven't heard anything about their marketplace, their partnership with IMX, the upcoming Web3 launcher that's being called Player. So we don't know if they're completely jumping ship, but the wallet shutdown has kind of ruffled some feathers in the space.
hey, you want to be compliant, you want to stay compliant. At the end of the day, it's about your customers. They're a US publicly traded company, and at the end of the day, they have to protect their gamers. So coming into this space, we knew that it was kind of like they're venturing in, and like kind of like we are all here still in muddy water, not knowing what's right, what's wrong. So I'm okay with it. Like, they're doing what's right for their clients. Again, they're a publicly traded company. They're not trying to get flooded.
Did any of you even use their wallet? I didn't.
No.
I did.
Oh, I hope you got all your stuff over to MetaMask.
I didn't. I need to look at that. I have my Key Reverse season passes or whatever are on the GameStop. I was so peeved. I was like, why are you putting it on this wallet?
So if you look at moving into it, I saw a thread the other day. A lot of Google is telling people that there's some Loopify route, and you will lose your assets if you go that route. Do not transfer them through that. You want to get all your assets moved to MetaMask. So
give my social security number to Loopify.
No, just use your Future Score pass from Futureverse, and you'll be okay.
Y'all are just too much.
Got it.
Okay, you know what? After offline, I'm going to send you guys some things, and you're home. I'm not coming on to the next show unless you guys read a little bit of those things, and we will talk about it.
Yeah, but you see, Shay, that's the issue with, I say, like, Web3, right? Like, you have to go through like this like one-on-one sit down to like educate like people. Like Dub was a perfect example. Like, he zoned out after 30 seconds. Like,
but I was talking really fast. I might.
I know. But we need something in 30 seconds that's gonna be like,
ooh, the elevator pitch. You got to have a good elevator pitch.
Yeah, but like 30 seconds.
I thought that's what a trailer is. Like, if they're building a product, right?
But honestly, no. But okay, at the same time, though, when you're there's like, you have to do due diligence. Like, anything that is intricate, there's due diligence involved, and you cannot skip that. If you're making an investment or you're buying a coin, like, you look at the market cap and all that. If you're buying a stock, you look into it. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if you're intrigued by it and you think there's depth there, then you'll look into it. And if you're not,
a degen trader, though.
Damn, yeah, I just buy the game stuff that I like.
You don't have to buy anything to play. Like, you can download this app, and like, it's a Web3 game, so it's educational. You guys need to play it at least once.
Which one? You said they had multiple.
The FIFA, the World.
Oh, okay.
AI World League.
I'm on top of that. I'll get to it eventually, I promise.
If you send me a fluff, I'll play as it.
Oh.
I promise I won't sell it right away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could figure something out where we use.
There's no other Web3 project in the space that has partnerships with like the likes of Ripple. So just saying, don't sleep on it. Like, and
I
the
agree.
XRC lawsuit that just got passed.
I'm not gonna open that can of worms because I'm on live TV and I have a pretty big bag.
I like follow like one guy on Twitter who's like an XRP maxi, and this is the second time I've heard of Ripple, so it's kind of cool. It's exciting to.
Hey, on another note,
I'm just here to play games. Realistically, that's why I'm in Web3. I saw some really dope games. They had a mint. I looked up what's minting, and I was like, oh, it's basically like buying a skin, except I can sell it and trade it. Cool. And here I am, almost 2 years later, still in Web3 through the ups and the downs.
Yeah,
mostly downs.
On another commercial, on another shill, before we hang up, guys, we have a new Twitter page. In order for us to keep our jobs, and for you people to see our lovely faces every week and talk about nonsense, please follow the Block Sauce on Twitter. Thank you very much.
Jorge, I can only rewrite my outro so fast. Stop stealing the thunder.
Oh, we just needed a shill. You could shill. This is the best part about shilling. You can shill as many times as you want, however you want to do it. Like, you want to get a T-shirt that says Block Sauce. You want to get a tattoo on the front of your head that says Block Sauce. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Be
Be
like
sure
tattoos.
to check out the Block Sauce in the future verse while using your re-NFT rental of your fluff, because that's the best way to watch the Block Sauce.
No, I mean, it's fair. You guys just want to play games and have fun. And so you guys just need to download the game. Like, I feel like it's just everything that I told you guys is more of like the technical, and it's getting kind of into the details.
Hey, I love it. It makes a lot of sense. It could have been a subnet on AVAX, but either way, like I'm happy to see it.
Are you doing shots at Coop right now? Okay.
No. I'm saying Coop has they've already created that that infra.
Well, do you guys have any final thoughts to throw out there? We definitely touched on quite
Final
a bit.
thought is that people have been talking about the Star Atlas thing. Just so you know, they're on fucking Steam or Epic, one of those. Gamers don't give a shit about what they're doing.
Hey, they're on Epic.
Yeah, they are. We talked about this. They've been on Epic for a while.
Yeah, let me just tell you, like, my 30 seconds on this.
Here we go.
People are making a big deal of it. Only Web3 is making a big deal. Gamers won't care about it. Web3 will care about it. We're going to forget about it next week. Let them keep building. I don't think it changes anything that they're doing. They've got most of the stuff built out anyways, probably like, I don't know, 40, 50% of whatever they're building. That's a lot more significant than any other games here. So that was my outtake. Thank you for coming on.
How about Dub? Shay, you guys got anything?
No, thanks for another great episode. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah. Go play the games you love playing and be a part of the projects you love being a part of, whether that's the Futureverse or FIFA AI. They're both the same thing. You get to have fun.
You're learning under the same umbrella.
Under the same umbrella. Send me a fluff to imhellasick.eth and I'll flex it.
Well, you know what? While we're shilling games, while we're shilling everything, let me go ahead and finally throw in my own shill. We got a metalcore playtest this weekend. It is on Epic Games. If you have not gotten in and you would like to try it out, hit me up in the DMs. That's at Jinkieran Gaming on Twitter, and I can probably get you a code. So there. Now I got a shill in this time. All right, you guys. That's gonna be a wrap. You guys good?
All right. Cheers, fam.
Thanks for joining us for another exhilarating episode of the Block Sauce. We're now going to come to a close, but before we bid you farewell, I want to give a huge thank you to Shay, Dub, and George for joining us every week. Appreciate you guys taking the time to have these discussions. These are usually great, and I love when they go off the rails most of the time. We still need that. We still need Shay's skit. Don't forget. I want to see that.
I got you.
Got it. We also can't do it without all of our viewers and supporters. Thank you guys so much for tuning in week after week. Your engagement and passion fuel our drive to continue doing this. And if you have any topics, discussions that you'd like to see, drop a comment, whether it be YouTube, Kick, wherever you're at watching us from right now, and we will definitely try to incorporate that in some form or fashion. So remember, the sauce never stops flowing. Stay connected with us on social media. As Jorge mentioned, it's at the Block Sauce with a 3, not an E. We also have at ReNFT Labs, so make sure you're following them. They are the sponsors for the show. Yeah, that'll be all for today's. Thanks for joining us, and see you next week for another thrilling episode of the Block Sauce, where we'll keep the gaming flame alive and the discussion sizzling. Stay saucy and keep on gaming in the exciting realm of Web3. Have a good one.